Yo, 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 welcome to the sixth episode of the Happy Hour podcast. I just want to start off by saying thank you to all the viewers and everybody that tune in on a regular basis. I got to say out there that we're not affiliated with anything. This is just our experience, strength, and hope trying to reach the lost. So today, my guest is Donte, aka Speed Bump. He's a great friend of mine, man. We ride some motorcycles together. We get to ride in a motorcycle ministry. We get to serve the Lord, and he works a real strong 12-step program. He gets to sponsor guys, and he'll tell you a little bit about what it was like and what happened, what it's like now. And thank you for tuning in. Here's Speed Bump.
Thank you for having me, man. First, man, I would like to give you your flowers, man, for this platform that you got going on, JJ. Like, truly, I would like to tell you, man, I appreciate it, and I know there's people out there that appreciate it as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, my name is DC. I'm an addict. I was born in Sumter, South Carolina. I was raised in Fayetteville, North Carolina. But when I was raised in Fayetteville, North Carolina, I was raised in Fort Bragg. So the household was my mom and my stepfather that was in the Army. So I had it was 5 of us, and I was the oldest. And it was we went to church every Sunday, and it was a good house. It was a good home. And my mom is a very strong woman. I got my grind from her. She taught me how to So one thing she told me was that if I don't care if you work at McDonald's, as long as you try to be the manager there, and that stuck with me. And that's the reason why I go so hard in anything that I do. But like I said, my stepfather, he was a military man, and me and him got into a lot of fights a lot of times, And as the oldest, I always had to stay at the house, and I always had to watch my younger siblings, and I think that's what made me go to gravitate toward the streets more harder, because I was always sheltered to be inside.
Right.
So gradually, as it went on, I went from being the person that was all about sports to now I'm gravitating more into the street theme, because I seen these people that I idolized or wanted to be like. All of a sudden, I started being like these people, and that took me down a path that I shouldn't have went down. But so one of the things that happened, first time I ever did any type of drugs was with my best friend. He's passed. He's gone right now. He's not no longer with us. But
sorry to hear that.
No, thank you. He was like a brother to me. I mean, and the first thing that we did was we smoked weed, and they say it starts off small, from smoking weed to and then it graduates from there. But that was the first thing I did was smoke weed, and also like I do music as well, and I do music and I battle rap, and in that environment, it's a lot of drugs on that scene.
Right, smoking weed, the popping the pills, the keep me ups, the environment of partying. So it starts out recreational, that it's like it's fun, and that's where you're at in your life,
Right. So instead of me taking the gratitude or being grateful for just the talent that God gave me, I try to take my own human power and use these drugs to enhance my way of thinking, like speeding up my process of coming up with lyrics, or coming up with a punchline or something like that, and that basically took me down a hill or a roller coaster that just went straight to failure. Seeing people dying, in front of me. I've seen so many people overdose in front of me, bro. It's crazy, and it just took me down the wrong path, and one thing led to another. Let me see, let's see where I could start off at.
Here, let's do this real quick. Is growing up in a house, a father, stepfather in the military, so strong background in the sense of rules and upbringing, mother strong, teaching you the work ethic, today knowing you and knowing who you are, it can tell and it shows in your life that, what you stick for and you stand for, that's your integrity. You're like, hey, your mom raised you and said, hey, you're going to be somebody, but we still went to that crowd to find that ease and comfort, the streets, the hustle game, the fast money.
Right.
What did that fast money look like to you, saying like, hey, I'm on the streets, I'm doing my dirt, I'm in these rap battles, I have to do it because that's what comes around. What influence is that for you? Like, how did that look in your life?
It to me at that point in time, it looked good. You know what I'm saying? That's what I wanted to be. I took myself and I idolized these people, and it took me down a path that I should never went down. I seen these guys walking around, with the nice cars, with a whole bunch, different type of women. I seen them with, with jewelry and all this stuff, and I wanted to be like that, and I thought that was the way of getting it, but it really wasn't. It went from gradually from just smoking weed to doing coke, because I use coke to enhance my way of thinking. Right. And it did. I can't be mad at my situation, because the drug did what it did.
That's right.
It put me in that position, and I wish I never did do it. But then, it went from there. It went from there to doing coke, to enhancing from coke to doing heroin, and then from heroin to fentanyl. I remember nights when I couldn't even go to sleep because I was so coked up.
Yeah.
Or I was doing meth, and I was staying up for days, trying to enhance myself in it. And so I had to switch from that in order for me to go to sleep. I had to use heroin, and these things, I guess that's what happens. If you have a pastor, if you're a pastor, and you have a child, and all of a sudden you're putting in them, about the Lord and all this, and you're putting that guideline on them, then all of a sudden they're going to be looking for the outside. They're going to try to gradually move from that to go and learn about whatever you're sheltering them from.
Right.
And I think that was me in my case. I think that's what happened. Because and it's nothing against my parents, because my parents were great.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about is you got a great structure. Their parents did nothing wrong, but us being kids, we want to be curious, courageous, and say, okay, I want to see what they're sheltering me from, because I got to live that. Mm-hmm. So you went and you flapped your wings and you got into this thing. So you started with a little bit of weed. You're doing rap battles. Then now in your story, you're talking about how the progression has started with then doing some coke. You're up and how at that stage, in your life, how was it affecting something that you love? Because I truly know, and I want the viewers to know, that you love music. Right. Was it starting to take a toll yet, or was it just fun? It was like, hey, we're hanging out in the recording studio, we're hanging out in the scene, we're busting flows, and it's all happy, joyous, and free right now. Right. Because you're looking at the guys for guidance of materialistic things. Right. You're looking and saying nice cars, different women, and that was cool to us. Right. At that point, was it fun, and were you living your life, and you didn't see it yet?
I didn't see the downfall coming at all. I thought this is what was going to get me to that next level, right? Because when you got all these people that's supporting you when it comes to what your talent, whatever it is. I don't care if it's playing football, I don't care if it's soccer. For me, it's music. Right. For me, it was doing battle rap. So you got all these people supporting you. You think, oh well, this drug is what made me get to this point, made me think of this. But totally. The real reason why I had this from the beginning, God gave me this talent.
That's right.
And I should have just ran with it from there. I totally lost everything. I was in a position to where I could have took it to the next level and got to URL. URL is like the main stage for battle rap, and I could have gotten there if I would have consistently, stayed on my path. But it was a downfall for me. I literally lost sight of what I was shooting for, and.
So now you are, in your story, you're talking about how it becoming your master.
Right.
The thing that you thought was helping you succeed in your rap game, your battles, has now taken control of you. Mm-hmm. What was that like? What were the dark days, where you having to do everything to get it, or you hurt, you know what I mean? It's just tell a little bit of background so the viewers can know is because I know there's some viewers out there that are lost and broken, that feel like they're trapped, and that they can't get a hold of it. They're like, man, it just has control. At first it was fun and games. It helped me succeed, but now it's got me. Because you mentioned, and we'll get to that, but you mentioned that God gave you this gift, and we learned that in class, that ism, and we'll touch on that. But like, as in your story, right in that day, think of how it had a hold of you, and it was, what did it look like, that dark area?
Man, those dark days was dark. So I had a job as a supervisor at a fence company, and it was a good job, And I was making a lot of money, but then all of a sudden I started not showing up for work and all this because of drugs and all this. I remember one time I literally took the work truck itself from Charleston just to go back, and we was out of town with Charleston working, and I took the work truck to go all the way back to Sumter just so I can get my drug and come right back, and ultimately I ended up losing. So now I lose my job. So now I don't have no money, no income. So those days when I didn't have no income, now I have this problem. Now I have that I have to fix. I'm on drugs. I need drugs, and I have no way of getting drugs. So when I didn't have any way of getting drugs, it was dark for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was hurting, and every day I would pray, like, God, please help me to get this, from out of my system. Show me a different path. Help me to better myself. And I mean, like, it didn't happen right then and there, but it happened gradually, along the lines. And I mean, so there were dark days. I remember finding myself in tent city with these people that I think, that I thought that loved me and everything, and that wasn't a place for me. I should have, stood on my 10 and did what I had to do to get, to get better. And now I am doing that.
Right. And that's our story, is we go through things, and that's what the 9th step promises is telling us that we don't regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it.
Right.
We will comprehend the word serenity, and we'll know peace. For the viewers, I recite a lot of the big book, and no, we're not affiliated with anything, but us in these testimonies, we do work a 12-step program, and so back to your story a little bit, sitting in tent city, sitting lost and broken, and not having this hope in your life at all. What were them? Tell me a little bit about like the last 24 hours of like in tent city to your struggle. Tell me a little bit about like inside, how you're feeling, what you physically look like, because I know a lot of these viewers that are viewing us right now look at you got your stuff together, you got a cut on, you got jewelry, you're not sucked up, you're not 105 pounds. I want them to hear from you what that looked like, because your message of hope is so powerful.
Right.
So what was the 24 hours like?
The 24 hours was just 24 hours of hell. I'm telling you, I was totally broken. I didn't want to live anymore. I wanted to die. Especially when I moved back to Sumter, I ended up moving back with my father, and that was like a highlight. You know what I'm saying? Because now I got the person that gave me that gave me birth, the person that created me. Right. I'm now with him, and now I can talk to him about certain things that I would not dare talk to my stepfather about. Right. And so that became my best friend. And so when I lost him, when my father died, that crushed me. That took me using drugs to a whole nother atmosphere. Like now I'm really spiraling out of control.
Now you're saying, why me, God? Right. Why would you take the man that I finally got to rekindle with? He's my best friend, and you're playing that blame game. Now it's like you're using it to numb, right. And keep going.
Right. So you're right. I was using it to numb. And at that point, I didn't see it as me using it to numb, but now I know that what was going on. And now I'm thinking, okay, now I'm hurt. I'm broken. I thinking, as an addict, you try to, instead of going straight to using God's power, now you're trying to use your human power to try to figure out ways that you can actually live life while using drugs. So now I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? So I started selling drugs. That's what I started doing. And when I started selling drugs, this was the worst idea I ever had. This is probably like the worst idea I ever had, but I did it, right? So started selling drugs, and now I'm thinking that I'm doing well because now I got money in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me being at my lows to where I'm in Tent City, now I got money in my pocket. I'm around different people that I think that loves me,
Right.
that that's there for me. Different women or whatever. And but really, my life was still spiraling out of control. I remember there was days where I literally had a place that I can go to at this time. I literally had a place that I can go lay my head at, but no, I'm so worried about making fast money. I'm literally staying the night in the back of my friend's car, and while he's door dashing, he's literally door dashing. I'm in the back seat sleep. Or if I'm not sleeping, I'm up trying to catch plays, as they would
Right.
say.
Of course.
And that's what my life consisted of. It was just me, either shooting meth for me to stay awake or shooting fentanyl for me to go to sleep. My life was clearly unmanageable at this point.
That's right.
And to the point where I'm thinking now, I am God per se. Like
Right.
I'm the big dog now in the streets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even there was, the drug dealers try to shit on me per se, and oh, he's just a junkie, he's just a user, da 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 da. But now I'm the drug dealer now, and I'm thinking this is what I need
What
to
I'm
do.
shooting for.
You know what I'm saying?
This is the life.
This is the life. So now all those dreams that I had of me being a rap artist, or me, doing battle raps, all that's gonna go into hell. I'm not even thinking about that no more, because now I'm thinking this is where I need to be now. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And ultimately, no, it wasn't. I remember what happened was, I got all this money in my pocket. I'm in Walmart, and I'm on meth right now. And so I'm in Walmart, and I'm just taking stuff out of Walmart for no reason. Why? When I have money in my pocket to buy it. That's how entitled I felt.
It was, let me take everything I can of the world because they owe me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that block of the drug usage and all the things that we did, what came with it, it was like, okay, I got to get everything I can free because the world owes it to me.
Right.
And it's so what happened was you're in there, you're taking everything. What caught up to you that brought you into recovery?
What caught up to me was that I was getting tired of going to jail all the time. I was getting tired of having to go to jail all the time. And this last time when I was in Walmart, I got caught stealing for no reason. I got money in my pocket. I got caught stealing, and I went to jail. So this is the last time that I went to jail, right? And when I went to jail, I was like, you know what? And it was in me going through withdrawals and all that. I'm saying, now I don't have me using the drug, I don't have the drug anymore. So now I'm going through withdrawals while I'm in jail, and now I'm just praying. I'm praying now. So now, because it went from me not having faith or having a little bit of faith at all, at all, and to me now I'm trying to build with God while I'm in jail, and I'm praying to God. So I was getting tired of living the life that I was living. Now I wanted to rekindle my relationship with my mom, because I lost, I wasn't talking to my mom like that. I wanted to rekindle the relationship with my brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? I'm the oldest, and I was not acting like the older brother at all.
Right.
And I wasn't being there for them, with times like my little brother having his daughter. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even get to see them graduate from high school. This is what drugs took from me. It took all these things, and I didn't even notice it. But this last goal was that it took me to go to jail for this last time, seeing 10 years of trafficking in front of my face.
That's right.
That's what woke me up. I said, you know what? I'm not about to lose it. I done lost everything. I'm not about to lose myself to this thing. I'm not about to lose myself to this. I'm about to build, and that's what I did. I had the option to where I could to buy myself out of jail, right? And I could have. But I knew that I had a problem that I needed to fix. So I told my lawyer, ask the judge if I could go to rehab, because I needed to do that. I needed to get myself from out of Sumter, and I needed to move someplace else, and I needed to better myself. And then the judge accepted it. And it's crazy that I'm in Solutions, because the first place that they told me that I was going to go to was Miracle Hill. And I guess it's true about what God. Then when they say God has a plan for you, because I was supposed to go to Miracle Hill, but it took months and months, and nobody answering the phone, and they knew I was coming. But then all of a sudden, it took one phone call to Solutions. One phone call, answer the phone. First person I get to answer was JB, And that's, you know, and
that's right.
I call them pops to this day.
That's right. You know, and so we've established that a good home doesn't matter what your background. I've had guys on this podcast talking about, hey, they had a rough life, you know, background, no mother, no father. You know, you have a good upbringing, you know, structure in the house, but you want to be curious and see what goes on. What are they blocking me from? So now that you have been, now you're going to a recovery center. You know, was it to go to get out of trouble at first, or was it that, hey, I'm so broken that the pain is so bad that I need something that is going to change me because I'm hurting inside? You know, what did that look like? Of what were you seeking recovery for at first?
At first, it was for me to get out of trouble.
Okay.
At first, it was for me to get out of trouble. I knew that I had a problem, but still, I was still into myself, thinking that I can still manage me using drugs or me selling drugs without, you know what I'm saying? That was the first idea that I had when I first got here. I was like, no, I don't need none of this that these people are teaching me. But then what happened was,
there you go.
So when I first got into the apartments here, I got into an apartment with a few guys. It was Danny, Luda, and Billy and Abby. And, you know, these guys are just, you know, talking recovery. And I'm like, man, if y'all don't shut up, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear none of this at all. Right? So, you know, I can't.
I'm just trying to get out of trouble.
You know, I'm just trying to get out of trouble. I ain't trying to see tears. That's all it is. And then, you know, what happened was I came in on a graduation night, right? And when I came in on a graduation night, I seen Luda. He was the house senior, and I seen him graduate. And when I seen a grown man up there started crying about what he achieved, that's when I stopped myself and I sat there and I was like, you know what, I want that. You know, I can relate with that guy. I see, you know what I'm saying, what he's saying is real. I want that. And, you know, since then I hit the ground running. I went and got me a sponsor. I went and got into the big book. I surrounded myself around good people, and, you know, that's why I'm here today.
And that's right, man. So now that you're in recovery, you got the sponsor, you know, a little bit about the steps, man. Tell me a little bit about the background of what it means to you, like, you know, with step one, man. Like, what did you have to do to fully get honest with yourself that your life was unmanageable, you know, and that you could not do this if you kept drinking and drugging?
Right. So with step one, I had to totally get honest with myself. With the principle, I had to be honest with myself that I have a problem. Like I said, I told I didn't want this at first. I wanted to go first. As soon as I started the serenity prayer, God, grant me the serenity. I thought this was a cult. I did not want no part of this at all. Like, I just wanted to go.
They got me reciting prayers. All of a sudden, they're gonna ask me to give all my money.
Right. I was like, call my lawyer. Hey, man, this ain't it, bro. I don't know. Got me part of a cult or what? Like, but I can't do this. But yeah, you know, I had to get honest with myself that I had a problem for real. Like, I had to be upfront with myself. I had to be like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? God don't give you too many chances. You know what I'm saying? You need to wake up. Now it's time for you to man up. If you don't do this right now, bro, there's a chance that you can leave, and if you leave, there's a chance that you could die. That's right. And I don't want to die yet. I don't want to die from me taking my life. I want to die whenever he tells me that's time for me to go. So, you know, I had to be honest that I had a problem, and the way that I was living is not the right way of living at all. That's right.
So moving a little farther in the steps, you know, we'll just go through some because I know your story and the way we teach here, you know, at LMS Solutions is these guys, you guys learn how to carry the message of hope. You know, that's why I started the podcast, man, so that viewers could see that the once lost and broken have now had a new way of life, that have a connection with their higher power. Some of them choose to call him God, some call him whatever they want. It doesn't mean that you have to believe in what I believe in or what you believe in. It's your own conception. Right. So going on and moving a little farther in the steps, you know, in step two, what allowed you to see that step in confining in something higher, in a power greater than you?
So at first it was hard for me, you know, with that step and with step three, it was hard for me because, like I said, I really didn't have little faith at all. Yes, I was brought up in the church, but then gradually, you know, going into the streets, I started losing my faith a little bit because, I mean, you start seeing people dying left and right. You start losing your best friend that, you know, you call your brother, you call my mom, I call his mom. When you lose your father, and, you know, that's your best friend, and then then gradually you start losing faith. You know what I'm saying? Your faith starts getting blocked But what happened was I started working on my sponsor. And at that time, my first sponsor was JB, and I seen something in him that I wanted. How stern he is. But he knows that big book like
That's
the back
right.
of his hand. That man is a good person. Like for real, he'll be there for anything. And I remember one day we was going through the fifth step, and I was in IHOP, and we was talking about, I started telling my resentments, and one of my resentments that I had was towards God because when I lost my father, and so I told him that, and at that point, when you see JB lean back and he puts his hands like this, messed up, right?
That's right.
So I was like, so once he did that, I was like, yeah, I already know what's going on, because how could I have done a thorough step 3 when I have, what I'm saying? Well, how can I have have faith when what I'm saying, I have resentments towards God?
Right.
So he told me, before we even go any further, let's you need to pray on that. You need to go take it back. And so that's what I did. I went home. I went back to the apartment, and I prayed. I didn't even tell him this, but I went back to the apartment, and I went home, and I prayed, and I cried, and I prayed, and I cried, and I to this day, it wasn't an instant gratification. It's not going to be I'm a super Christian all of a sudden. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. There
you go.
So I'm still building with him brick by brick, layer by layer. I'm trying to do everything in his will, whatever I'm saying, what he wants me to do. So every day I wake up and I try to pray to God and ask him, what can I do in his will. And that's how that happens.
That's right. So now you jumped up in a little bit, moving along, and your life is getting better. You're rebuilding that relationship with God. You're getting a faith that is your understanding. Because relationships take practice. Say if you're in a marriage or say you're in a relationship, you have to then work on things together. So to build your relationship with your faith, what did it look like in recovery that you had to build that faith? Because you said it, you had a lot of resentments towards God, like, hey, you took my friend, you took my father, you took all these things. What was that it was like, hey, I'm going to have faith in you because my way's not working. Right. My way got me in Tent City. My way got me selling dope. My way got me to jail. Then I'm lost and I'm broken. These people that say they love me don't, and when you come into a recovery center, you come into AA, you then now see love that everybody's hugging you, everybody's clapping you on. I mean, you're the only place you go to that, that claps for you for your first day for being a dumbass is AA or NA, some type of AA, like, yeah, you picked up the right shit, you screwed up your life. You know what I mean? But that was the message, that was the message of hope that I got. And I did it too, is because I'm a recovering addict. It was like, hey man, they welcomed me, arms wide open, the hope's in the room. These guys are getting their life together. I sat there in the same exact position as you. Like, they're having me recite a serenity prayer. They're at passing a basket. They want me to put some money in it. This is a cult, man. This is scary for me. And I know all the viewers that we're talking to felt the same way as we laugh and joke about it. But now we're here and we're fully committed and we know it works because we have a working knowledge of the 12 steps. We have worked the 12 steps. We have sponsees. We have sponsors that have sponsors that have sponsors. Right. So a thing is you talked about doing a fifth step with your sponsor in IHOP. He's sitting back, he gives a look at you, you go home, you pray, you cry, you allow God back in your heart. How does that look now with your relationship with God? Like, what's this journey? What is a day like in Donte Speed Bump look like? And I say speed bump, man, is because you're my brother, and I truly love you. And the way it works is, tell me a little bit about what your life looks like in recovery, man.
My life looks great now. My life, to me, it looks great now. It truly does. So, I mean, it's like you said, I've tried everything in my will and my power, and it's all failed. It all led me right back to jail. It all led me back to full circle to where, I'm thinking I'm doing all right. No, you're back in jail. Oh, I think that things are going right. Oh no, somebody's trying to rob you. Oh, I think that this is going right for me. Oh, somebody's trying to kill you. Like, it's just, I was tired of looking over my shoulders and being afraid all the time. I'm tired of losing, bro. I was a loser, bro. But now today I can truly say that I feel like I'm a winner now. I feel like I'm winning, and it's not because of me, it's because of him. Bro, I tried everything else, so why not try God? Why not try God? And truly, what now that I can say is that now since I've tried God, bro, I'm telling you, things have been so much better to where I don't have to have these. I know you be in your head all the time, bro.
You know,
So,
I got a whole committee in there, 100 million voices, 100 miles an hour.
Right. So one of these problems that I would have all the time is that I would literally be in my head so much to where like I'm literally having arguments with myself. Like, bro, that was stupid. You should have did that. That was dumb. Like, bro, that was dumb. Like, then I'm just now saying randomly cuss words out of nowhere. Fuck, shit. And they're like, what? Like, well, you all right? I'm like, no, I'm good.
Don't
I'm all
worry.
right. Don't worry about it. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to even go to sleep because like I'm still got these things on my mind. But now I can say I sleep peacefully because I don't have to worry about these things no more. Like I can literally just let it go once I pray on it, and I can just let it go. And I know God's gonna do the work. I know He's gonna show me the path or whatever it is, and then I'm gonna walk down it because I know that I'm now walking with faith. I surround myself around good people like you, or surround myself like JB, Joe, Izzy, all these people, and it's one of the reasons why I joined the ministry. One of the reasons why I wear this vest now is because, and I wear it proudly because I get to walk around with people that's walking in the light and that's walking in the path that I want to walk with. You know what I'm saying? That I'm trying to be. I no longer want to be that person that was in sin. I no longer want to be about self anymore. I want to know how can I help the next person? How can I do that? Because when I help the next person, that's what's going to help me. That's what's going to put me down the right path. That's going to lead me in the right direction that I'm trying to go. That's what I'm trying to be with. I no longer lust over women like that. I'm saying, of course, as a guy, I might see a girl, but I catch myself, hey, don't be doing that, bro. Like, neck up, bro. Give her respect, bro.
That's right.
So, I'm at the point where I'm, trying to find, the one that I truly want to be with, and I get to see people like you because you're married. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I surround myself around people like that because now y'all show me how to live life, and I appreciate that too.
And that's beautiful, man. Is so you got the drinking the drug is away. We're talking about in your story that you're now in recovery. You are that beacon of hope. You are carrying the message. You have these sponsees. You're watching the people before you that just got here before, and they have relationships. They're faithful to one woman. They are now talking in their their audio matches. Their feet matches their audio. And so when they're there and it looks good, and you're like, man, these are the people I want to be like. You said that this is your goal. You're doing it. And so say a little thing. How are your relationships now? You mentioned your parents. You mentioned your family. Your brothers and sisters. Are they now getting better? Are you now in their lives? Are you being that big brother that you could ever dream of?
Yes. Yes. I think I am. My brother, he hits me up on Facebook all the time. We have our little arguments. We both like rapping, so
of course.
And right now you have this little beef with Drake and Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. So I'm a Drake fan, and he likes Kendrick Lamar and all that. I mean, and we're both was raised in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Right.
He was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So of course, J. Cole's right there. So we have our little debates back and forth with each other, and I love this because now I get to do that. I no longer am not ignoring his messages because I'm trying to go get the next fix or something like that. I love this. My mom, man, listen, my mom, I love my mom. I mean, I wish that I could actually talk to her more. You know what I'm saying? Like every day but I'm working on that. I literally, that was one of the amends that I had to make was to her. Because I wasn't being that son that I know that I could have been or should have been, and it's so crazy about amends. Some of those amends, when you go and apologize to those people, you know what, they already know what you're gonna say. They already know, and they already forgave you. And that was the thing with my mom. She already forgave me before I could even forgive myself. And I truly love her for that because she is the reason why I'm here. She's like one of my idols, like for real.
She's your rock.
She's my rock.
You're the baby boy, you know what I mean?
Right.
He's that firstborn boy, and it doesn't matter what boy mamas love their children, no matter what they have to go through. They gave birth to us, but the biggest thing and the best blessing is when you light up and you talk about your mom.
Right.
Now you have feelings. That in recovery it talks about the bad thing is you're going to get your feeling back, but the good thing is you get your feelings back. Is now you're not numb. The drugs don't have you numb. You have emotions. You know, I don't know how I made it through life sometimes. I was like in an autopilot. I didn't care what I heard. I was like the tornado whipping through the valley. That's what our book says. You know, everything I came in contact, I destroyed. Now I get to be that light, and everything I get contact, I give that hope. You know, I wanted to be completely opposite. I built a relationship with the Lord. I gave it over to him. I now have courage that allowed me to have integrity, stand on my values, stand for what is right for God. And that's what you get to do. Right. And that's what you're doing. And that's why I was like, hey, these viewers got to hear your story. Somebody that was lost and broken, that was on the streets, lived in Tin City, has sat in the back of a car, you know what I mean, all night, all day, lived a life, had a place to go to, didn't care because the next play could have been a missed opportunity. Thinking that's okay, lost and broken because the drugs have us so numb and confined in that autopilot. It's like, dude, you weren't designed to hurt people. You're designed to love because we're all God's children. Right. You know, you mentioned something about amends. You know, our family sees it because of the connection with God, that before we even realize, when you go in order, you know, and you don't work the steps 1, 9, 12. Right. You work the steps 1 through 12 in order, because without honesty, you can't get the hope. Without the hope, you can't get the faith. And without faith, you can't gain that courage that continues to allow you to work these things. Because let's be real, courage has to come in place. And all this other principles coming up to an amends list. As you said, I got to, you know, talk to my mom, and I got to rekindle that. I get to have a relationship. I wish I talked to her more. Well, guess what? You get to today. You get to have that opportunity, you know, to go on the 3 steps that we carry that wrap up all the steps in one. You know, what does a 10 and 11 and 12 look like for you, man? You know, we talked about your relationship with God. You know, we talked about how do you improve that daily? How does that relationship look to you? Do you pray? Do you read daily inspirations? Are you working with others?
Yeah, so with 10 is I pray more now. Like I don't do anything without talking to God now. Like seriously, I really don't. I try not to, because every time that I try to do it myself or try to do it, seems like I just mess everything up. Like I don't want to do that anymore. Right. I try to pray with him and see whatever whatever will he has for me in movement in his direction. And with service, I just try to I do a boot camp, kids boot camp, strap them up boot camp on Saturdays, and try to get outside of myself. You know, and I help out these kids because these kids done been through so much. You know, they done been through things that no kid should be going through. That's right. At all, period. And you know, I'm trying to lead them down the right path. You know, when you go through a terrible life, you know, as a child, and sometimes then you start doing terrible things. You start putting yourself in directions that you don't need to be going down. And I'm trying to show them that, hey, bro, you don't want to do that because you're gonna end up being where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Where you're 33 right now in a rehab, where you know, and you don't want that to happen. You'll be in jail, or you're gonna be in prison. You know, facing time, which I'm doing right now. I'm still facing 10 years of prison time that I'm trying not to see. You know, and I don't want y'all to do that. You know, so these steps can actually work, bro. It works if you work them. They truly do. That's pretty much what I got.
You know, and you said it right off it. If you actually work them, you know, and that's the biggest thing that just hit me that you said, and the whole time is, your story is your story, and it's going to reach people. You know, but if you don't actually, you know, work a program of your own, of that you and your sponsor or whoever you're going through this with, or your relationship with God, whatever you choose and however but you have to do the work. You can't just come in and read the steps off the board, or you can't come in and read them out of your big book, you know, that we find them at, or in your NA book, or at whatever A you use. You know, you have to actually put the work behind it, because in the book over and over it talks about action. Action and action, and it talks about faith without works is dead. Right. You have to work this. Right. You know, it's so big, and I love that you came out and you got to tell, and I love that the things you do. You know, you get to help people, you get to sponsor, you get to tell, and I keep saying this over and over, because if you're just joining in the middle of the episode or anything in life, is you must put in the work to get to where you want to go. Right. Anything worthwhile is not easy.
Right.
It's hard.
Right.
You know, I know the many nights because I sat in the same chairs as you. You know, I know the many times you had to cry and hurt inside because you were lost and alone. And the drink and the drug, it takes a long time to get out of your body.
Right.
You know, you've adapted and made ways in your life that this is what I thought was normal. Now you're having to be retaught a new way of life.
Right.
So it could look like a cold at first. It could look like that somebody's telling you what to do, but it simply worked for us the way it was, and we just carry the same exact message and how to do the same exact thing. You know, I sponsor guys that sponsor guys that sponsor guys. I mean, I'm 34 years old, and my sponsee tree and my sponsor's tree and his sponsor's tree allows us to be a huge group in Greenville that allows us to touch and reach so many. And that's such a beautiful thing to be a part of. You know, if you could say one thing to the viewers is what would you tell them to keep them going? What's your message of hope?
Persevere. I mixed them up when I put.
That's okay.
Yeah. 10. Persevere. Push. So reason why I got the name Speedboat, I got hit by a car, right? So when I got hit by a car, man, this is while I'm in rehab. I got hit by a car, messed up my knee, right? And I was out of work for a while. Like I was out of work for a good minute to where, you know, I had to spend up all my savings and all that, and I didn't have any money at all. And I'm saying this because, you know, there's some people when they come into the program, they try to make it about work, and they try to make it about work. And I'm trying to tell you that, you know, what's going to happen when you don't have that, you know, have no work, when you don't have no job, but you want to quit the program. No, I didn't do that. I still kept doing. I stood on my 10 and I still kept doing this program because I know that this is what's going to save my life, right? I know that I need this. I need this so I can help myself and so I can help others. And that was a good thing for me. That was a good thing for me because I know that I needed this, right? I had to put the work in every day, even on days I did not want to put the work in. And guess what? Those will be the days that you need to put the work in.
That's right.
Because you don't know that you might not want to go to a meeting, but guess what? When you go to that meeting, and there's been plenty of times when I'm like, man, I want to go to this meeting today, bro. I'm so tired. But guess what? Every time I say that, I go to the meeting and it end up saying something that I needed to hear, bro. Like, and I do truly appreciate y'all for that. Because
in the days that you do want to go, you know what I mean? You get to be that message of hope.
Right.
You get to come up in front of 180 men and you get to teach exactly what the step says when it says. You know, I watch people, and that's the guys that I bring on this so the viewers can hear, is their audio matches, their feet matches, their audio, sorry. It's so beautiful to watch you grow. You know, if any of you viewers want to contact myself, just go to Happy Hour on YouTube, Happy Hour Sobriety. You go to Facebook, Happy Hour Sobriety. You can go to Spotify, Happy Hour Sobriety. Also, you can reach Donte, you know, at Donte Carroll on Facebook. If you have any questions, I mean, if there's anything that you need to know, if you're lost and broken, you're like, how do I find it? You know, we're heavily involved in the community, and it's something that we enjoy doing. And I hope one day you join us. You know, in the book we study, it talks about join us on the happy road to destiny. You know, and I want the hand of God, and I say God is to always be there, because you don't know who you're gonna. You might be the only big book that anybody sees. You might be the only Bible that anybody sees. It says, you know, let's make God proud, you know, and carry his message that they don't have to be broke. They don't have to be in the gutter anymore. They don't have to be in the trenches. There's a way that if you put some discipline in your life, if you put some integrity, some courage, and some honesty, and some hope, and some faith, and some willingness, you know, the willingness to carry out when things are good and bad.
Right.
You know, the good and the bad at times are so important. You know, and I've seen you do that. You are willing. You smile on a daily basis. Every day you're willing to change it, you know, is all. So like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to message me on the Happy Hour Sobriety Podcast on Facebook, or you can just write Donte Carroll on Facebook as well.
Donte Bossman Carroll.
Donte Bossman Carroll, you know, is and feel free to ask, man. And thank you guys for tuning in. See you next week.